Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying out a bunch of new products that I recently purchased and I did a haul on, and I will list that haul right here in a card if you guys are interested. But I want to try some of these products today. I want to see how long they last, if my skin agrees with them. So I want to go ahead and try to test them out as long as I possibly can. It's 11:48 right now, so I want to try to wear this probably for a good 8 to 9 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I pretty much have a full face of products. I did put on my skincare. I do have my SPF on. I have some workout clothes on because I'm probably gonna do a workout here after I tape this. So let's go ahead and just get started. The main products that I wanna test out today are the Tarte Amazonian Clay 16-hour full coverage foundation and also the one size concealer. So I definitely want to put these to the test. So I'm going to start with the one size primer. I do love this primer. I'm going to use this all over. I'm going to let that sit a little bit. So I am going to put on my Supercharged. This is the Brightening Under Eye Tint and it's by Milani. I'm just going to spread that on my under eye. So I'm just gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer, just patting that into the eyelid. I'm gonna put on some of this Lip Care Booster Lip Oil by Essence. So I'm just gonna leave that on throughout this video. So for today's eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Always Naked palette. I love these shades in here. I wanted to do something a little simple because I don't really have anywhere to go today, so I just wanted to do a simple eye look. I'm gonna start with setting that primer with this shade right here. It's just a cream powder type shade. Just gonna put it all over. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's kind of like a peachy toned type shade. I'm just gonna go into the crease with that. This really doesn't show up too much on me, but that's okay. I am gonna take this shade right here and I'm going to deepen that crease up with that. These are very powdery, so there's a lot of kick up with the shadows. As you can see, they're like super powdery. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is pretty pigmented. I'm just going to go into the crease, kind of deepen up that crease in the outer corner. Then I'm gonna go in with this shade right here and just put that like on the center in the inner corner. That is a really pigmented shade. I'm surprised of how pigmented this is because I didn't look like it would be really pigmented, but it is. I'm just bringing it into the darker shade on the edges of my eye. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with the Amazonian Clay foundation. Again, mine's in the shade Tan Honey, but this is the little packaging right there. I think this shade is gonna work for me. But it is a very thick consistency. It's a very mousse-like consistency. So I'm just going to place that on my skin. Oh, it is very thick. It seems like it's gonna be really full coverage too. I was gonna go in with my Wet n Wild sponge, but I think I'm gonna use a brush. I feel like it'll just blend in a little bit better with the brush, being that it's so thick. The shade's not too bad. I think it's a good shade for me. And I went in with probably about a pump, I would say. It looks very smoothing on the skin. Of course, it doesn't cover up my hyperpigmentation. I'm gonna try to see if I can build it up just a little bit. I'm gonna put a tad bit more, not too much more, because I feel like if I put too much, it's gonna look cakey. I'm just gonna put it in areas where I need a little more coverage. That little bit covered it up a little bit better, so it's not completely full coverage. All right, so of course, as you guys know, I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in Tan. I'm just going to put a little bit on those areas. It seems like my hyperpigmentation gets worse like during the summer, of course, because it's so hot. Okay, that covered it up just a little bit, not all the way, but it looks fine to me. Okay, so now we're going to take the one size concealer. So mine is in the shade 4 Neutral. It does seem a little light in the packaging, so I don't know if it's gonna be really light on my under eyes. We'll see. But it comes with this doe foot applicator, and it is a pretty thick bottle. Kind of reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape. They're pretty close in size. This one is probably just a tad bit bigger. I am gonna place this on the back of my hand. My hands are clean. I just don't wanna place it on my under eyes just yet because of my eye issue. The consistency seems to be pretty full coverage, pretty thick. I'm just gonna take my Wet n Wild sponge, dab it into the concealer, and then I'm going to place that on my under eye. This shade is very brightening, which I don't mind. I don't mind a brighter under eye. And it does look like it's really full coverage, guys. It sits really pretty on the under eye. So far so good with that. I'm gonna do the other eye. I am gonna highlight my nose a little bit and the center of my forehead, just a little bit. I am putting the rest on the side of my nose because I feel like I'm a little bit red around here. Because I always set my concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and set it with my Jaclyn Hill palette. I usually use the sponge by Beauty Blender, but it is drying. I did wash it. I'm just gonna use this brush and I'm going into this shade right here. So I'm just taking a little bit, pressing it there. Okay, so for powder, I'm gonna go with my one size powder. I'm just gonna press that into the skin. I am gonna go in with this Tulum palette by BH Cosmetics. I don't know if I mentioned this in my haul, but this is new. So I have used it once, so I'm gonna use it again today. I really enjoyed it the first time I used it. I did mix these two shades here, and then later I went in with this one. I think I'm gonna mix these two shades instead. See how pretty that is? Such a pretty bronzer. The highlighters in here are so beautiful as well. I love this bronzer, guys. It's so pretty. I am gonna use the Milani powder blushes that I purchased. I've already used this one. So I think what I'm gonna do is go in with this one. It's a little bit darker, but I wanna see how it looks on the skin. These blushes are so gorgeous. That is so pretty. I might have to tone it down just a little bit. I think I went a little bit ham with that blush, so I'm just gonna take my one size pressed powder, just kind of tone it down a little bit. It's a beautiful like fall shade. I'm gonna go back into this for the highlight. I'm gonna use this shade right here. It's the lighter shade of the two. The other one's more of a bronze shade. Now this is a very powerful highlight, so you might wanna just go in light-handed. Unless you want it to be super like strong or bright, go in with the light hand. It's intense. So I'm gonna do my brows really quickly. I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. palette here. I did like it when I used it. Like I said in my haul, it is very intense. So you have to be very careful not to overdo it. I like this last shade because it's more of like a cooler toned brown. It's not so warm. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy with my brows because I don't want them to look too intense. I'm gonna fill in these areas that look really sparse, which is pretty much my whole brow because I don't have a lot of brows. Now I'm gonna go in with my Essence Make Me Brow. This is in the shade Dark Brown. I'm just going to comb those eyebrows up, make them look a little more full. Now I'm going to curl my lashes. And then I'm gonna go in with this Ilia Mascara. I've had this. I hadn't used it, so I'm just going to put just a tad bit on the edges of my lashes. I'm gonna take off the lip oil. Okay, so I am gonna take some of this eyeshadow and just kind of place it like right under the eyes. I wanna go into this shade, it's a little bit lighter. It's one of the first shades that I put into my crease. I'm gonna go in with a butter gloss. I don't know which one I wanna use. I wanna use one that I haven't used. I'm gonna go in with my Sweet Tea pencil by Morphe. This has become one of my favorite lip pencils. Now I'm gonna go in with Butterscotch. Ooh, that's so pretty. So that's the Butter Gloss by NYX and Butterscotch. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm going to go on about my day. I legit want to see whether the Tarte foundation and the concealer work for me all day. I hope that they do. So far, I really like the way everything went on. I love the way the foundation looks. I love the concealer. It looks like it's very full coverage. It's covered pretty much my dark circles that are right here. I am gonna wear this all day. But yeah, so So far so good with the way this looks, and I will see you guys in a few hours. All right guys, it's 7:45 in the evening. I've had this on. It'll be almost 8 hours at 7:48 in 3 minutes. I wanted to come on here quickly because we're actually grilling out tonight. So I have some stuff on the stove and my husband has some stuff on the grill. So yeah, so I wanted to come on and tell you guys how everything worked out. Now, down here on the bottom of my chin, I do have some foundation missing and some foundation missing here. And that's because I had a mask on and I was eating chicken wings earlier today. And so, of course, they can be messy and they got all over my chin, so I had to wipe my mouth. Yeah, when it comes to chicken wings, I'm not a very neat eater. I pretty much get down when I eat some chicken wings. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the two products that I really wanted to test today, and that's the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation and also the One Size Concealer. By looking at this, I'm kind of sad because my eyes have creased quite a bit. I set this and it just looks like it's broken up right here on the bottom, which I'm so sad about because I loved the way that this concealer applied on the under eyes. I mean, it looked so smooth. It looked like put together. It was like great coverage. And now I'm looking at it and it's like broken up right here under my eyes. I don't know if it's because I got a little oily down there. I'm not sure. It looks like it just broke up. I noticed that it was breaking up probably around the 4-hour mark. So it really didn't even last past 4 hours. Also, I am missing foundation here, and that's because I had a mask on earlier. So the foundation's not transfer proof. I'm not sure what it claims. We're gonna go over that in just a minute. But this I'm really sad about because I love a lot of his products, and it's just really sad that this concealer did not work for me. I know it probably doesn't look bad on camera, but I can really tell by looking at it that it's just kind of cracked right here. So unfortunately, this didn't work. The other thing that I tried, of course, was the Tarte High Performance Amazonian Clay 16-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is supposed to be poreless technology, full coverage, soft matte finish, dermatologist tested and non-comedogenic. It's supposed to be long wearing, of course, 16 hours. I wouldn't say that it's completely full coverage. As you saw, I did have to put on some Tarte Shape Tape, which I'm fine with. I am used to doing that. But anyway, so let me look on my phone really quickly and see if there's any other information about this foundations. So here on Ulta's website, it says it's supposed to be a new formula, new shades, new sustainable way to clay, just a dot of the whipped mousse texture blends seamlessly to cover imperfections, skin mimicking full coverage, never cakes or creases, soft matte, erases the look of pores, fine lines, and wrinkles. It also says that it feels really lightweight on the skin, sustainably sourced. Oh, it also says that if you love the 12-hour, rematch yourself and go 1 to 2 shades deeper to find your new shade. And then it says the best application is with the dense face brush. All right, so let me just say this. After 8 hours wear, just by looking at the foundation, it has creased just a tad bit here. I have gotten a little bit oily on my T-zone. My skin on my cheeks and my forehead looks amazing. I don't see any like breakup there. Mainly it's just creased here. I can't really attest to like my mouth right now, but earlier it looked really good before I ate the chicken wings. But right now looking at it, it looks amazing. I am really impressed with this, guys. This shade did work for me. I think it looks really beautiful. My mom came over and she said my skin looked really nice and my makeup looked really good. So yeah, so I am impressed with this. I am definitely gonna get a larger size. So for today's wear test, this was an amazing foundation. So really impressed with it. These shadows that I purchased, the ones that I wore today were the Wet n Wild Always Naked shadows. Guys, these lasted all day. Look at my eyes. It doesn't look like they creased or anything. They didn't go anywhere. They just lasted all day. I am loving this, especially for the price. So for the powder blush, I have already tried this palette. I did try this shade today and I loved it. I think it's gonna be perfect for the fall months. So love this. I do wanna bring up the Tulum bronzing palette. I do love this palette, guys. It is so stinking pretty. The shades in here are perfect for me, so really love this. I didn't mention it in my haul, but I wanted to mention it to you guys today because I did use it once before, so I wanted to mention it again. And then of course I've used this for the second time and I really do love it. It lasts, it stays in place, have no issues with it. So that's it for all the new products that I tested today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I appreciate you guys staying all the way to the end. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys on the next video. Bye.